All right, airport life Cancun. Not a lot going on at 7:30 in the morning. Not much going on for breakfast either. So I got these Snyder of Hanover honey mustard and onion. Delicious, carbon upright in the morning. And then I got some Evian. All right, Evian's becoming my go-to water of choice. Sometimes I even pick it over Fiji when I'm feeling frisky. I do a little Evian. You know, I like the fact that, you know, it's naive backwards. And then what else did I get? I've never had this before, so I'm gonna open this up while I talk to you. This is Claudia Original Coconut Mexican Chocolate. Chocolate Maya con Coco. Beautiful packaging on here. This thing is like $10. So let me open this up, let me talk to you. What I want to talk about today at the airport is my vacation. So I went, so I'm at Cancun, obviously, and I stayed at 3 amazing properties. I stayed at the Ritz Carlton, the JW Marriott, and the Westin. So life isn't bad, not a bad array of hotels to spend a week in Cancun at, and they all excelled in different areas. So I want to talk about, if you go to Cancun and you want to stay within the Marriott ecosystem, which one do you stay at? Do you stay at the Ritz Carlton or the JW Marriott, which are right next to each other, pretty much, and then, or the Westin. So I broke it down in different categories. I did this in the taxi this morning. I'm going to talk about the bed, the bathroom, the view, the overall room, the pool, the beach, the grounds, campus, service, location, restaurants, and gym. I'm just gonna go over those really quickly while I eat this Mayan chocolate. This is not easy to open. All right, let's try this real quick. Oh, I like that, how it's stamped. You see that? That is really cool. So I thought this would kind of be like Almond Joy, which is wishful thinking. It's only lightly infused with coconut. You see the white specks? That's the coconut part. So just a hint, a subtle hit of coconut. I thought it was gonna be like a coconut explosion, but I've had enough coconut this week. Anyway, I've had a litany, a plethora of pina coladas. I need to detox for like 2 days. Okay. Westin versus JW Marriott versus Ritz Carlton. Let's get to it. Again, this is really going to be applicable to you if you are in the Marriott ecosystem, or if you don't want to stay at an all-inclusive hotel. I'm not the biggest fan of all-inclusive hotels because you really have to make your money back by staying at the hotel all the time, and you have to drink and eat a lot. If you don't drink and eat a lot at the hotel all the time, then you're not going to make your money back. So it's actually worth it to go off-site. So I stay at the Ritz, the JW, or the Westin, or any hotel that isn't all-inclusive, because it gives me a lot more autonomy and a lot more flexibility with my eating and drinking. I'm not locked into phoning ahead for a reservation 48 hours in advance. I'm not locked into watered-down drinks. I'm not locked into a really, really high room rate. If I'm going to spend $200, because at some of these resorts, you have to eat or spend like $200 worth of like food or drinks. It's so annoying. I feel like anytime you hear like a loudspeaker in an airport, it's very just Orwellian. It just doesn't sit right with me. Okay, anyway, you have to eat or drink like $200 a day worth of food. And for me as a single guy, that just isn't happening. So I like to go off-site. So my point is, these Marriott properties are not all-inclusive. You're just paying the room rate. For example, I've talked about this many times. The Ritz rate was $135. So that frees up $200 a day, maybe even $300 a day for me to go to Harry's, to Fred's, Cocobongo, Mandala, wherever you want to go. So that's why I stayed at these hotels, because they are not all-inclusive. The best bed. I'll just start right off with second place. Second place is the Westin. When I jumped on that bed, I thought it was going to be really chintzy, really cheap. I was actually really scared about it. And then I remembered that Westin beds are some of the best in the business. In fact, I think you can buy like Westin bedding and Westin sheets, even Westin beds online. So after I slept in it, like after a night, I'm like, oh yeah, Westins have really, really good beds. I should not have had my confidence shook like that, but I'll jump to it. The Ritz Carlton was the worst bed, and the best bed was at the JW Marriott. So if a good night's sleep is really, really important to you, check out the JW Marriott. The bathroom. This was between the Ritz Carlton and the JW Marriott. You have to go look at both my videos. I do an intense overview of both of them. Basically, the JW Marriott inched it out because it was modern, it was new, and the shower. If you like yourself a phenomenal shower, this thing was like an elephant shower. It was huge. It was like the size of my shoulders in terms of width, and it came down with a force that was akin to a fireperson's hose. Okay, view. This one's pretty easy because number 2 and number 3 were tied. The Westin and the JW Marriott tied. The Westin view wasn't that great, and the JW Marriott view was pretty good, but the balconies are really close to each other. In fact, I could hear my neighbors when they were outside smoking and FaceTiming. So to me, the view, the easy winner was the Ritz-Carlton. Not only did it have the better balcony, it had 2 balconies, and the view was literally a direct view right into the ocean. It was awe-inspiring. Room overall, I'm going to give it a slight edge to the JW Marriott because it was updated, it was modernized. They renovated the hotel in 2018, and because of that, it inched out the Ritz-Carlton. The Ritz-Carlton was nice, but it could use a bit of an updating and upgrade. But because the JW Marriott was so fresh, so clean, so new, you could just still smell the newness of materials even 2 years later, it won. So pool. This one is really surprising. It's between the Westin and the JW Marriott. I think that the Westin pool was actually better. The Ritz-Carlton pool was nice, but there's only 2 of them and they were small. The Ritz-Carlton is more of a beach place, and I'll get to that in a second. The JW Marriott and the Westin are very similar. Both had swim-up bars. Both had infinity pools, but the Westin's infinity pool was more jaw-dropping, and it had a lot more options. It had a water slide for children. Again, this loudspeaker is going to be the end of me. Oh my God. Like, you need to announce the same thing over and over again every 10 minutes. Like, we're idiots. We're adults. We can hear. Like, announce it once an hour. Even once an hour would be obnoxious. Anyway, best pool, Westin, very similar to the JW Marriott. The infinity pool, although the pool was not as clean as the JW Marriott, I saw like debris and stuff floating in it. It was larger, had more options, had a swim-up bar, and had a better bar overall. So the Westin gets it in terms of the pool. The ground, the overall grounds, the outdoor grounds, I'm gonna give this one to the Westin as well. Just because it was so gigantic and so sprawling and really beautifully crafted, well engineered. They're just great overall. So Westin wins the grounds. Service, in terms of service, this is a no surprise. If I said JW Marriott, Westin, Ritz-Carlton, when it comes to service, which one do you think would win? That one won. It was the Ritz. Location. This one was interesting. The JW Marriott and the Ritz-Carlton are pretty close to each other. In fact, you could walk from one to the other. And one of those is the winner. But the Westin, some people might like the location. It's right next to the Isla Shopping Center, and it's next to like Mandala and Cocobongo and all the tourist stuff. So if you like that, you want to stay at the Westin. For me, I'm a restaurant guy, and the JW Marriott was next to Fred's, and which is perhaps the best seafood restaurant in Cancun, arguably. I won't say definitively, but it's my favorite. And then my favorite steakhouse, of course, is Harry's, and the Ritz-Carlton is next to that. So they're right next to each other. They're walkable. The JW Marriott is next to Fred's, and the Ritz-Carlton is next to Harry's. I chose the Ritz-Carlton because it's in walking distance of the best restaurant in Cancun. So Ritz-Carlton wins on location. Okay, so restaurants. I'm going to give it to the Ritz-Carlton just because it has Fantino on site. Fantino's all I need to say. Many people consider it to be the best in Cancun. All the critics do. It's the critics' choice for the best restaurant in Cancun. So restaurants goes to Ritz-Carlton. Gym. You know how I feel about the Westin gym. If you saw that video, it was grotesque. It was repulsive. I will never go back to that gym ever. Just really small, and then the palpable smoke taste. It was awful. So it's between the Ritz-Carlton and the JW Marriott, and the JW Marriott, their gym was 3 times better than the Ritz-Carlton. So that's no knock against the Ritz-Carlton. If you saw that video, you saw how well done that gym is. It was beautiful. It was perfect. That's just how good the JW Marriott's gym is. It was thrice better than the Ritz-Carlton. So overall, the Westin was at number 3, even though it is better ranked on TripAdvisor as the better luxury hotel. It was only better in terms of value to me. Question: it's between the JW Marriott and the Ritz Carlton. Really, it's preference, but the Ritz Carlton came in second, and the JW Marriott won. They're very similar, really identical. I'd recommend you stay at them both, 2 nights at each or 3 nights at each, and see which one you like better. For me, the JW Marriott was just more modern, and that's what I like. I like modern. I like trendy. I like a place that's more approachable. The Ritz was interestingly done. It was the opulent, luxurious, sophisticated Ritz-Carlton on a beach, so that was really cool. But the JW Marriott was remodeled. The lobby was palatial, just opulent. It was fantastic. It was just, I was awestruck when I looked at the gold ceiling and all the pillars. Plus the rooms are remodeled. It has the better pool, and it has a great location. So that is it. Ritz-Carlton, JW Marriott, Westin. I went with the JW Marriott. Go check them out for yourself and let me know what you think. I'm out.